G'day guys, Disney Dave coming at you once again from Down Under with a video by popular demand. This is one of the most demanded videos, or one of the most requested videos I've had on this site ever since I first started doing videos from in my study here. Yes, I get asked this question quite a lot, and the question of course is, when are you going to show your pop vinyl collection? Of course, behind me you can see a whole ton of Disney pop vinyls sitting on my bookshelf here. So this has obviously piqued the curiosity of many of my followers out there. Of course, I've never done like a proper room tour or a book library tour, anything like that. So it's this is something that's new and fresh, and something that I've been planning to do for a while that I just haven't got around to doing. But I figured that considering a lot of my collection videos are quite popular, in fact some of my most popular videos on my channel are my collection videos, I figured it was about time to finally give it a whirl. Now, I must warn all the pop vinyl fanatics out there, this video may be very, very hard to watch. I am an out-of-box collector. That's right, I do not keep my pop vinyls in the boxes. I think it looks ugly, and I think it's a waste of space, and I think these things really need to just be appreciated properly. You gotta take them out of the box, you gotta display them properly on a nice shelf. I want my collection of pop vinyls to look just like that. A collection of little action figures of these little characters from my favorite movies. I don't want my study to look like the shelf of a Zing store. I don't want it to look like you've just walked into a shop and there's a whole bunch of Funko Pop vinyl boxes on the shelves. No! You gotta crack them out, you gotta really appreciate them. So, that being said, if you are squeamish at looking at out-of-box pop vinyls, then maybe you should turn this video off right now. But for those of you who are still with me, I think it's finally time that we get into this. This is my complete, so far, Disney pop vinyl collection. Alright, let's start this pop vinyl collection right at the beginning with Little Snow White. This was one of the very first pop vinyls I ever bought. This was the one that sort of started it all. At first I didn't want to start collecting these pop vinyls because I knew it would just get out of hand. But when I saw Little Snow White sitting there, I just knew I had to have her because, you know, Snow White's my favourite princess, one of my favourite Disney characters of all time. And once I bought one, well, then I had to buy the Evil Queen, didn't I? And then once I bought her, well, all bets are off. These are still two of my absolute favourite pop vinyls. Even if there's not quite as much detail as there is on more recent pop vinyls, I still love this little one. I love these two as well. Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, is actually a newer one, probably a few years ago now. Maleficent actually came out first, and I was waiting ages and ages for Aurora to come out, and finally she did. I absolutely love this. There's a newer version of her as well. It's from the sort of dancing princess series. I love them too, but I've only got one of them. You'll see it very soon. This is the older version of Cinderella. I never ended up picking up the newer version of her. Two versions of Ariel right here. Of course, this is the original Ariel. She's got the glitter there on her tail, as you can see. Awesome. And Ursula, they are two of the very first pop vinyls there. I know Ursula especially goes for a bucket load. You can sell Ursula for hundreds. But I'm not that kind of collector. I like to keep mine, and just I love having them on display. And then of course this is the princess version Ariel, which was sort of a few years later. On the next shelf, this is a movie that I didn't really like all that much, but I love the characters from it, I love the designs. Frozen, Elsa. This is the second version of Elsa they put out, which is the glitter version, which I think is cool. We've got Olaf. You can't really see it, but this is the glitter version of Olaf. They did so many different variants of Olaf, it was crazy. Frozen Fever was real. Here's another glitter variant, Tinkerbell. And I had the original version of Tinkerbell, and then I gave it to my mum because I wanted to buy this cool one with the glitter all over her. I think she's fantastic. I really love that one too. And then of course, Peter Pan, one of the early ones, and so was Captain Hook as well. So there's my little Peter Pan collection. I wish they'd do Wendy, that'd be great. They'd just complete the little set there. And then of course, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. This is one collection I never really wanted to begin with, the Inside Out figures. I only bought these because there was a collectible store nearby that was closing down, and they were having like something crazy like 70% off. So I ended up buying all of them for really, really cheap. I just couldn't pass up some really cheap Disney pop vinyl, so I got the entire Inside Out collection. I really love them. I'm really happy that I did end up buying them. This is one that I was so excited for to finally come out. I remember waiting for weeks and weeks for it to finally hit shelves. Rapunzel from Tangled. And of course she comes with a little mini Pascal, which is just so awesome. It's not something they ever used to do with the older figures, but the new ones, they come with these small ones. You'll see some more in a sec. Of course, the Princess Frog figures, absolutely adore this movie. One of my favorite Disney movies. So underrated. We've got Princess Tiana. We've got the Prince there as a little frog. And then Dr. Facilier. Awesome. Absolutely love that. So cool. And then we have some Mulan ones. I absolutely love these when they announced these. I'm not a huge fan of Mulan, but when they announced these, I just had to get them. I'm a huge Eddie Murphy fan, so I love the Mushu pop vinyl. And the Mulan ones are really cool as well. And then the little, as I said, I'm not a huge fan of the movie. I can't remember the cricket's name, but he's pretty cool. I do like that little one. And then over here, Pocahontas. This is a movie I didn't like for so long, probably a couple of years ago. I really fell in love with it. I'm going to talk about that one day on one of my videos, but I love the movie now, Pocahontas. And so there's Pocahontas and Miko from the Pocahontas line. This is one of the things that confuses me. Sometimes they give you the minor, tiny characters as little figures, and then sometimes they give them to you as full-size figures. I mean, that's creepy. It's a full-size raccoon. That could have easily been one of these little ones, but obviously they figured that it's a good enough character they could make a full-size figure out of it. Oh well. Here are my Jungle Book ones right here. Love these. The first ones to come out were Baloo right there, and King Louie, of course. And then later on they went back and they made more. So of course we've got Shere Khan right here, which is so cool. Absolutely love this. But the one I was waiting for so long was Mowgli. How can you have Baloo without a little Mowgli? So I was so excited when they finally did the Mowgli pop vinyl. He is awesome right there. Really love that. I didn't pick up the other ones in the set. They did Car as well. I didn't pick that one up. And this was the point where they were starting to really release lots and lots of figures, and I had to be really picky and choosy with which ones I wanted. At first I was just happy to pick up one of every character, but then so many different variants and so many different characters from so many different movies just sort of stopped me from buying so many. And then these ones I love, the Bambi ones. These are some of the earlier animal figures. They're not great, but I really love having them in the collection because I love Bambi, one of my favorite movies. The later animal figures I just didn't buy because I didn't like them. Lion King ones, didn't really feel for them. But you can see the difference between the fun animal figures from Jungle Book and the Bambi ones. Yeah, but there you go. This is an earlier one as well, Dumbo. I love this one so much. Dumbo is one of my favorite Disney characters ever. Isn't he just so cute? They've just reissued Dumbo. It's like a big one with little Timothy in his hat and he's flying. It looks so cool. Wish I could have that, but I think that was an exclusive to one of those Funko mystery box sort of things. And then of course, Jiminy Cricket and Pinocchio. Another one of those things that really bugs me in scale. We've got a Jiminy Cricket which is exactly the same size as Pinocchio right there. A little bit creepy. It's the reason I never ended up buying the Grumpy dwarf, because the dwarf shouldn't be the same size as Snow White. I believe they're actually doing a whole new series of Snow White ones with the 7 dwarfs. I can't have 7 dwarves the same size as Snow White. If they issue them as mini pops, I can do it, but not full size, because look at that, that's creepy as. And then over here, another couple of really early ones. Again, we've one that goes for hundreds of dollars on eBay, and it is Chernobog from Fantasia. I love him. I would never sell him. And then of course, Sorcerer Mickey from Fantasia as well. My favorite Disney movie. This is my favorite version of Mickey Mouse as well. So cool. I love those two together. These two here, I absolutely adore. These were hard to get from memory. Of course, it's Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit. Check him out right there. There were a couple of other ones from the film as well. I think I just had to be very picky and choosy with certain lines. But those two are certainly two of my favorites. I love them. She's got a bit of glitter on her there as well, which is super cool. Then we have a couple of pop vinyls from Up. I never ended up buying the Doug one. They did Doug recently. These two are older ones as well. I didn't get the Doug one because, again, it was another case of the dog being the same size as the two human characters. I just couldn't deal with that. It creeps me out. I couldn't deal with it. So I passed on Doug. These two are awesome. See, this is what they should do. Scale is great. Big Hero 6 figures right here. We have got Baymax in his Big Hero 6 outfit, which is so awesome. Again, this was one that that I purchased at that comic book shop that was shutting down. I got him for probably $15, $20, which is about the same price you get a normal pop vinyl for. And then Hero I wound up with in some kind of Zabby mystery box thing. Pretty cool too. I love them both together. I love the movie, but they're not two I would have bought at full price. So I'm happy that I did wind up with both of them. They did the whole team of Big Hero 6, but again, picky and choosy, and I just couldn't have the entire team up there. Too much money. And of course, this is the beginning of Walt Disney Animation with Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. I was so excited to find out they did an Oswald pop vinyl. And of course, people nowadays really only know him from the games, or I suppose younger people really only know him from the Kingdom Hearts games, or whatever the games were that he was in. But I, of course, know him from those wonderful early Disney shorts. So I was so happy to get a little Oswald in my collection. And of course, Steamboat Mickey Mouse, which is apparently quite a rarity as well right now. So I was so lucky I wound up with Steamboat Mickey Mouse. Also my favourite Mickey Mouse next to Sorcerer Mickey. Then we get normal Mickey Mouse. These two are actually quite rare for a while. Mickey and Minnie, and they must have made more of them because you can get them everywhere now. I've seen them all the time. But they are pretty cool. They're two of my favourites as well. And of course, Donald and Goofy. The Goofy's a bit creepy actually because he's got... All the other ones have got black eyes. This one has white eyes. It just looks kind of creepy. And I don't know. Most of them I don't mind about not having pupils, but I think the fact that Goofy has white eyes, which is what eyes should be, and he doesn't have pupils, it creeps me out a little bit. But anyway, there's the Mickey, Minnie, Donald and Goofy team up. When are they gonna do Pluto? Actually, did they do a Pluto in one of the mystery packs? Can't remember, but I would absolutely love a Pluto. Got a couple of newer ones here. I had to pick up Moana and Maui, and of course I got little Pua down there with Moana as well. I ummed and ahed about which version of Moana to buy, and in the end, I had to get the one with this little guy. There was one with an oar, which I wanted to get, but I didn't get this little guy with it. So in the end, I went with that. I'm happy with my choice there because I got the 3 characters there. Over here, we have got Jack Skellington, this little teddy bear thing, and I've got Sally there. This is the Sally and Nightshade variant, which I absolutely love. I think Jack is glow in the dark. Not too sure. I don't think I've really tested it out, but they're cool. That's a movie that I don't really like that much. It's one that I just didn't grow up with, and I suppose as I grew up, it was just one that I just never felt anything for, but I love the characters and I just had to have them represented. And they come out every Christmas to sit with all the Christmas decorations, of course. Here are some of my favorites right here. This is my Beauty and the Beast collection. This is a newer Belle. This is the Castle Grounds Belle, which I think is so cool. I had to buy that one. As you know, Belle is my favorite princess next to Snow White. This was Peasant Belle, which is again a really early one. You can see the difference between this one and this one, which is a newer one. Look at the difference in the size of the heads and everything. And again, even this Belle on the right, which was the earliest Belle, this is the very first Belle they ever released. And again, she goes for like $300 or $400 on eBay, but I can't sell her because I love her too much. And again, I'm not that kind of collector. I just love my pop vinyls. Peasant Belle, or as they call her now, Villager Belle, because Peasant Belle doesn't sound that nice. And then we have the Belle from the new Dancing Princesses collection. It's the only one I bought from that collection. I just loved it. I had to buy it. And then again, of course, original Belle and original Beast. I didn't buy any of the newer Beast figures because I was happy enough with this guy. And then, of course, the new Gaston. I was waiting so long for them to do a Gaston. Absolutely love that guy. So there are some of the Beauty and the Beast pop vinyls. Some, you hear me say? Yes, because there are more right down here, of course. Here we've, of course, got Mrs. Potts and little Chip there. Again, weird, because these are the household items, but they're the same size as the humans, which is why I sort of have them down here by themselves. And then, of course, Cogsworth and Lumiere there as well. And then, of course, I had to get a couple from the live-action remake, so I wound up with the Beast from the live-action remake, which I think is kind of creepy, but kind of cool. And then, of course, Emma Watson as Belle. I had to get 2 different versions, which are the Castle Grounds version, and then, of course, normal Belle with the rose in her hand. Right down the bottom here, I have a couple of the live-action films represented. We've got Mary Poppins. This is I think the only Mary Poppins they've done so far, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more when they bring out the new movie starring Emily Blunt, Mary Poppins Returns. So I'm happy with that, and I'm sure I'll buy another one when they bring it out, because again, this one's looking a bit dated. Look at the size of the head. And then here we've got The Rocketeer, which is a completely underappreciated Disney live-action film, if I may say so. Love that movie so much, and I love that figure. And then of course, I'm probably the only person in the world who bought the Tomorrowland figures. I have to be really picky and choosy with my figures, but I love this movie so much, and I just had to have it representing my collection somehow. And this seemed to be like the only way I could have Tomorrowland representing my collection was in pop vinyl form. I had to get these. I just had to get them. And of course, over here is Jack Sparrow. This is the original Jack Sparrow they released, looking very, very dated, especially when we compare it to the newer Jack Sparrow figures. Sparrow, as you can see, it's so much better. It's awesome. The detailing in the newer ones is so much better than the older ones. Had to get this. This isn't the Dead Men Tell No Tales version. I think this was just a Pirates of the Caribbean franchise branded one, but it's I think from one of the later movies, At World's End, probably. And I say that because we've got Elizabeth Swann from At World's End here, which is so cool. I love it. I waited so long for him to finally do an Elizabeth Swann, and there she is. Will Turner I'd love to have. The only Will Turner I have at the moment is from Dead Men Tell No Tales, and he's the Ghost Will Turner. I don't want Ghost Will Turner. I want real Will Turner. Give me him, please, Funko. And then over here, of course, a couple of the villains, Barbossa and then Davy Jones. I think they're both super cool. I should probably buy Captain Salazar at some point to have all the villains represented there, but I will not be buying another Jack Sparrow because I just don't need a million one Jack Sparrows, and I will not be buying the Will Turner Ghost because I don't want Ghost Will Turner. We have got 3 Toy Story ones. I love Toy Story so much. Love Woody and then Buzz. That's annoying. These are the first versions they brought out, and then they did 20th anniversary versions like a couple of years later, and Buzz has his dome on his head. I just wish I bought that version. You can still get it, but I just didn't feel like I had to spend another $20 to get him with a dome on his head. Some of the other figures I don't mind buying multiples of, but it felt like the same figure of the dome, and I couldn't justify it. And of course Jessie right there as well, who's really cool. We've got the Aladdin figures, minus Aladdin because they never did Aladdin. I don't know why. They just don't do princes. Pop Vinyl haven't done any Prince figures, but you'd think they would do one of Aladdin. He's not just another Disney prince, he is the main character. So I don't know why they haven't done Aladdin yet. This is one of my favorite Pop Vinyls of all. Again, another one that sells like $200-300 on eBay, and this is the one. If I had to sell my entire collection, for some reason I needed money and I had to sell every figure, I would not sell this one because I am such a huge Robin Williams fan, and I absolutely adore Robin Williams and his work, and I just could not in good faith get rid of this guy, and I certainly could not cash in on this guy right here. I love him too much. I did say before that Snow White was my first one and the one that sort of started everything. Jafar was the one that tipped me over the edge. He was the one where I went, well, I've got 2 Snow White ones, I don't need any other characters, but Jafar is too cool. I bought Jafar, and then of course I had to buy Jasmine, I had to buy the genie, and then it just started from there, and I went up with this massive collection. So there you go, that is the Aladdin collection. Over here we have Robin Hood. Robin Hood is the only one I actually ended up buying from the Robin Hood collection. I didn't want the King, I didn't want the Snake. I would have bought Maid Marian if they did one, I would have bought Little John if they did one, but they didn't. And of course, next to Robin Hood is the other Disney Archer, and that is Merida from Brave. Absolutely love Brave, love Merida. Such an underrated movie, I think. We've got the original Alice in Wonderland line. I can't remember if they ever did another wave of these. I don't think they did, but they did the ones from the film. That's right, from Alice Through the Looking Glass. I was happy to just stick with my cartoon versions. Mad Hatter I think is cool. Another one that goes for bucket loads on eBay. Alice, I just love her. I think she's so cute. Look at that, so cool. And then of course the Cheshire Cat. It's awesome as well. So there are my 3 Alice in Wonderland ones. Love them so much. And the final shelf for the Disney one, guys, is of course a couple of more Pixar ones. We've got the 3 from Monsters Inc. These are the original Monsters Inc. figures. Mike, Sully, and Boo again. This is another case of creepiness overload. You have the baby exactly the same size as the monsters. They could have just made her little, but that's one that just really creeps me out more than anything. And of course, these are 2 newer ones. There is Flick and Ada from A Bug's Life. I was so happy when they announced they were going to do this. I didn't get my hand on Heimlich because he sold out really quickly. I think you can still get him now. I think he's available to purchase now online. I just haven't got around to it. Haven't ever seen him in stores. If I see him in a store, I'll buy him. If not, it's no big loss. And of course, the greatest natural historian of all time, David Attenborough, is looking over my 2 little bugs there, which I think is quite fitting. But there you go. And then one quick skim, a little overview here of all of my Pop Vinyls from the Disney Animation Collection right there. I think they're super cool, don't you? They are all the Disney animation ones, and I love my collection, and I'm really excited to see it continue to grow. And there you go, that is my entire Disney pop vinyl collection on my shelves right behind me. Finally, I've given you guys a look out there. I really hope you've enjoyed this collection video. Now, as you may have seen from my Blu-ray collection videos, not only am I a huge Disney fanatic, I'm just a huge movie fanatic in general. So, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to my pop vinyl collection. In those Blu-ray collection videos, you may have seen some other pop vinyls sitting behind me on my Blu-ray and DVD shelves. And yes, I will be doing videos for all of those collections as well. I've got a big Marvel pop vinyl collection, I have a fairly decent sized Star Wars pop vinyl collection, and I have a good movie pop vinyl collection as well. So I will be doing videos for all of those in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for them if you enjoyed today's video. And of course, as always, as I do with all of my collection videos, I will be doing update videos each time I get some new Disney pop vinyls or just pop vinyls in general, so I can put them on the channel, and I'll just keep my collection up to date on the channel, and you guys can keep up to date with me as I fill out my collection. I actually haven't bought one for a while, so I'm sort of itching to get my hands on another pop vinyl, another Disney pop vinyl. And that is it for today's video. If you're a first time viewer of my channel and you have enjoyed today's video and you'd like to see some more, you'd like to keep up to date with my pop vinyl videos, or you'd just like to see any of my other videos on my channel, then please give me some support, and after the jump, hit subscribe. To all my regular viewers out there, thank you once again for joining me, and to absolutely everybody, I hope I'll see you again soon. Until next time though, guys, take care, and I hope you have a pop-tastic day. That was terrible. That's one of the worst sign-offs I've ever attempted. I'm not gonna finish that. I hope you have a magical day. That's better.